Hello, Renee's here with you. I don't want to look like one of those toxic girls from YouTube, but I have a certain point of view that I would like to share with you. Well, I hate Valentine's Day, and believe me, I can easily explain why everyone should hate it. I am now 19 years old, but my hatred stems from my childhood. I was in a child care center, and our teacher decided to celebrate Valentine's Day together with all the kids that were there. So she taught us how to cut beautiful, well-decorated valentines from multicolored napkins. And after that, we were free to gift our artwork to somebody we liked. We were little kids back then, so it was not about any romantic feelings. It was just a good idea to help children express their feelings and offer friendship to each other. But I was one of those kids who could fall in love already in childhood. And there was one boy, Bob or Ben, it doesn't matter now. I liked him, so I used the lesson on Valentine designing as a call to action. I approached this boy and handed him my Valentine. It was very beautiful, by the way. He accepted my gift, but then he had probably caught a little cold, so he sneezed. And then he loudly blew his nose into my Valentine napkin. I don't think he meant anything bad or tried to offend me, but can you imagine how horrible I felt at that moment? I decided that I would never give anyone a Valentine ever again. Childhood trauma, you know. And over the years, I've only become more convinced that this was the right decision. So here's the first reason why I hate Valentine's Day. If you have friends who are in some kind of relationship, they put incredible pressure on you on this day. I'm a pretty sociable person. I have a lot of friends, and many of them have been in a relationship for a long time. So when this stupid day comes, they all seem to go crazy. You see, I'm single and usually feel fine about this fact. But on the eve of Valentine's Day, everyone, literally everyone, considers it a necessity to remind me that I don't have a boyfriend. Sometimes they don't even mean to do it. Like, I have this friend Wendy, and she has a boyfriend, Will. I hang out with them pretty often. But on Valentine's Day, I simply cannot stand them. They cuddle the whole time. They start calling each other stupid baby nicknames. And during this time, it's impossible to go to the movies with them because they don't even look at the screen at all and don't talk about the movie afterward. I feel very awkward and ashamed when it comes to their behavior. And before the holiday, Wendy and Will constantly bother me with questions about what Valentine gifts they should give each other. I have no idea. Hey, no idea. And as if that's not enough, every year Wendy suddenly realizes I'm single. Surprise! So she tries to arrange a date for me with some loser and gives me some advice on how to pick up a guy. Come on, friend. You hooked Will because he was your neighbor and you have known each other since childhood. Are you sure you're good at picking people up? The second reason, on Valentine's Day, all your single friends are putting pressure on you, too. Yes, it turns out that both sides are equally impossible. My other friend's name is Patty. I believe that she is a great girl, but like me, she still does not have a boyfriend. And you can't even imagine the extent of her suffering because of this. Although I am absolutely sure that she is the only reason that she still hasn't met anyone. Patty is very shy and not confident, and she does not know how to talk with guys. And every damn year, on the night before Valentine's Day, Patty starts to frantically text me in every messenger app that's available. By this time, I am usually already in bed, so I don't answer right away. But Patty doesn't give up. She starts to call me. She believes that as her friend, I have to listen to her when she is feeling down. This is, of course, true. But every year I have to listen to her sobbing on my smartphone until dawn? Maybe one of you is interested in meeting her? All the other days of the year, Patty is completely fine. Take my word for it. And she's really pretty. If you are interested, please reach out to me in the comments. Reason number 3 is that on Valentine's Day, a lot of guys suddenly start to think that they have a chance with you. Yep, as if St. Valentine himself would help them from his cloud. Oh, please, don't think I am bragging, because there is nothing to be proud of, but I've always had a lot of admirers. The only problem is the guys I've liked have never liked me back, and vice versa. I don't know why, but the guys that fall for me are mostly losers. Apparently, they believe that I am one of their kind, and it really upsets me. Well, I've never given any of these guys any kind of hope, so most of the time, nobody bothers me. But not on Valentine's Day. I don't know what kind of soapy romantic comedies all these guys have been watching, but many of them sincerely believe that if I turn them down, it just means that they are not being persistent enough. I live on the second floor of my multi-story building, and my bedroom window faces the street. And my fans know about it. They love to imagine that they are Romeo and try to turn me into some ridiculous Juliet. There was one guy who was actually serenading me under my window. I'm not kidding. I couldn't make him stop. And then I was also forced to save him from the cops because my neighbors, who apparently did not appreciate St. Valentine, called the police. Then the same guy tried to climb through the window, also considering it a friggin' romantic gesture. Then it was my turn to call the police. And guess what? He was deeply offended by this. Yes, Taylor, this part of the story is about you. Reason number 4. Valentine's Day is dangerous for my body shape and inspires all sorts of nonsense from my dear mother. Guys not only try to get into my bedroom window, but every year they give me Valentines, along with flowers, stuffed animals, and of course, sweets. Everyone on Valentine's Day gives each other sweets. All these huge red boxes with chocolates, marzipan, candies. Oh God, I'm close to tears just thinking about it. I've been trying to stay in good shape since childhood, and in order to be fit, I forbade myself to eat sweets. All those terrible, dangerous carbs, you know? But on Valentine's Day, chocolate is literally everywhere. Boys give it to their girls, girls treat their friends with them, and for some reason, my mom thinks that it is a great tradition to give me a huge box of chocolates on this dreadful day. I can't resist. It's all beyond my control. I break down and eat it all. And I also suspect that from my mother's side, it's an attempt to cozy up to me. Because while I lose control and indulge in mood-enhancing carbohydrates, my mother starts to hint that she's very concerned that I still don't have a boyfriend. I'm her only child, and she has started to repeat more and more how much she would like to take care of her grandchildren. I guess you probably already understand what I'm getting at. On all the other days, I just run away from these conversations and stay in my room. But on Valentine's Day, there is no way of avoiding a little tea party with my mother. Otherwise, she would get really upset. But I love my mother, and I do not want to offend her. Well, our mothers should not get upset, because they are our mothers, even if they are trying to manipulate us. And this finally leads me to the 5th and the last reason to detest this day. On Valentine's Day, the whole world is manipulating you. I thought about this when I was walking downtown on one of these holidays. The streets were generously decorated. Shop windows were looking at me from all angles, offering something to buy. Chocolate, some stupid toy, a useless souvenir, a lot of flowers, and if you moved away from the shops, you could see that all the restaurants, coffee shops, and pastry shops were filled with couples trying to look like they were having a romantic evening. I tried to hide in the movie theater, but there was nothing else to watch but romantic comedies and melodramas. In addition, everything was sold out. Everything was busy. Then I went to the park and there were almost no free benches. Just trying to find a place to sit and think was a difficult venture. It was a very strange evening. It was an evening when, for the first time, I felt very lonely. I even wanted to call Patty and ask her to be my shrink in the same way that I usually did with her. But just before I started crying, I noticed something very strange in a garbage can. There were boxes, wrappers, and a large bouquet of flowers sticking out of it. Apparently, someone else's Valentine's Day also failed. And all this festive paraphernalia that haunts everyone on this day was turned into garbage in an instant. Do you understand? Sweets were eaten, gifts were delivered to the addressees, and the flowers were thrown away, even before they managed to wither naturally. But before that, somebody paid for them, Every year we spend thousands, millions of dollars for one day a year. And after all, many people don't even think that this holiday is a good holiday, a holiday of love. It's imposed on us by society and business. Why do Wendy and Will show off their affection to each other only once a year? Why does Patty feel especially bad on this particular day? Why does my mom only think about me getting married on that day? Why did Tyler bother me with his stupid serenades on Valentine's Day? Isn't loving somebody and remembering that something that should be alive daily in a relationship and not just one day a year? At least, I hope that when I finally meet somebody, it will be exactly like that with us. What do you think of Valentine's Day? Do you celebrate it? Or do you hate it, just like I do? Write about this in the comments. Oh, and remember, I will be choosing the most handsome of the subscribers to introduce them to Patty.